10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome to the AWE. AWE is Arm Wrestling Entertainment, and we're here in Adelaide to decide who will be the AWE Middleweight Champion. Hollywood Matt Connolly, there's a lot to look forward to.
Absolutely, there is some mega talent that is in this room today that'll be facing off against each other. We've got guys from all around the world. We cannot wait to see who will emerge as the AWE Middleweight Champion.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Taran Broad, 173 centimetres tall, 85 kilograms with an impressive 19-inch bicep and 16-inch forearm. Ladies and gentlemen, Taran Broad! Standing at 165 centimetres tall, weighing in at 84 kilograms with a 17-inch bicep and a 14-inch forearm. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the table, Marty Penfold.
Number one, that's right, he is number one.
Number one.
We do have the coin flip in play because it is just first to one, and so the buckle is important to choose as to whether or not you want to have the buckle or you want your opponent to have the buckle. So we're about to get set up here. Taran Broad, a very strong inside puller, but Marty Penfold has also developed that side of his game. So we'll see how his skill has improved. He's only still relatively new, maybe a year and a half into the sport. Taran, the number one seed here, so we'll see how this plays out.
Very similar styles. It'll really come down to strength.
Don't move. Go! Stop.
There we go.
There you go,
Taran Broad.
So too strong.
Proving why he is the number one seed here.
Absolutely, that inside game, he's probably going to be hoping to do that the entire way through the tournament.
Standing at 178 centimetres tall, weighed in officially at 85 kilograms. He has a 17-inch bicep and a 15.3-inch forearm. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Singapore's number one arm wrestler, Zhu Zhi Yu! Standing at 181 centimetres tall, weighed in officially at 80 kilograms, has a 15.5-inch bicep and a 13.75-inch forearm. Please welcome SK!
All right, we've got a massive battle here. Singapore's Zhu Zhi Yu. He'll be taking on SK Seong Park he's originally from Korea, I believe, but he is in Queensland at the moment, all the way down here in Adelaide for this event. So we'll see how this plays out. Zhu being the unknown factor here for us. We were not exactly sure his level. We're about to find out. And SK, we know that he is a fantastic arm wrestler. And we've got a slip to start things off. So we're going to go to the strap.
Put your hands up. Yep.
Zhu is number one in Singapore. He's been performing very, very well. And what we've seen over recent times through social media has been that he's really been performing beyond all expectations. So taking on some top international talent.
Strap sorted.
Yeah, absolutely. He had a fantastic battle against world champion Svetan. It was about 20 seconds they were in a holding position. He was able to hold off a world champion. It did end up losing that round, but that shows his level, I believe. But for us, it was like, well, we don't know exactly where he's at compared to our athletes. So very interested to see that question get answered, and we're getting into the straps here with SK, and we'll find out what happens. Looks like Zhu was going for a top roll that first round, and SK was able to slip out of that position, or he just let go. Maybe he wasn't happy with the setup, but it does look like both guys are aiming for that top roll hand position at this point. They haven't taken the grip quite yet, but the framing of their arms, it looks like they're both trying to get height. Looks like SK might be going for a press, actually.
Yeah, SK looks like he's coming inside.
Are you both happy there?
Pressure loading.
You happy, SK? Yep. Don't move. Go!
Here we go. Oh, there we go. Wow. Really got pulled out of that press position. You can see SK jumping inside in the replay here. And ultimately, wrong move. He's going to have to find another lane when he gets to the next round.
Absolutely, yes. Diving in for a press there and getting thrown to the side.
Standing at 178 centimeters tall, he weighed in officially at 78 kilograms with a 16.5-inch bicep and a 15-inch forearm. Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Barker! Standing at 172 centimeters tall, he weighed in at 85 kilograms with a 16.5-inch bicep and a 13.5-inch forearm. Please welcome Nick the X Factor Vela!
Stay this side. All right, no problem. You guys can take your own grip.
All right, we've got the match here between Josh Barker and Nick
Are you
Vella.
both
Nick
happy
Vella
there?
stepping in at last minute as a
bit of wrist
replacement
here.
for Guy Tanapat, who wasn't able to
Can't
get
see
into
knuckles,
the
guys.
country,
Just open up a
unfortunately.
little
But
bit.
Nick Vella, known as a
Don't-
very strong inside puller, he
Come down
is
a
going to be
little bit
taking
here.
on Josh
Little bit
Barker,
here.
who is known for a lightning fast, incredibly strong press. So we're
All
going
right,
to
don't
see
climb
if
up any
Nick
higher.
is able to
Let's take these wrists out.
frame himself in a way that
Shoulder.
Josh is not comfortable going for
You
that
both happy
press.
there? Don't
That, I
move.
think is
Go.
his game plan going in, but he does it
Oh,
anyway.
and he's
hits it
holding on
hard.
with the
He's caught
bicep.
with the bi- he's brought it
Look
back
at
to the
that, he's
middle.
brought it back inside. This is an extraordinary
Keep your elbow on.
exchange
Keep your
here.
elbow on.
Nick Vella putting all the pressure on.
Keep your elbow.
He just needs to be patient here. He seems to have everything he
Oh,
needs
he's
against
got it.
Josh Barker.
Running
One
foul.
elbow foul on the pin here.
Was it elbow foul? What do we
One
got?
elbow foul.
Okay. It was an elbow foul for Nick Vella, so it's a restart. But what an absolutely tremendous performance. Catching Josh's press
Strong.
an
Good
inch
match.
away from being pinned,
Good match.
bringing it back to the middle, and then was able
it
to
was an
roll
elbow
through
foul.
for the pin. Unfortunately, he did elbow foul on
Yeah,
the
so
way.
And
disallows
this is the
pin.
biggest,
You can't-
strongest
elbow
version
can't
we've
come
seen
off
of Josh
while pinning
Barker.
someone.
So
No. It was an elbow foul.
we can go to the replay.
All right.
All athletes can contest.
Watch
That's
this.
If they
right.
feel the call
Yep,
didn't
don't
go
climb
their
behind
way,
us.
they can take it to the replay should they so wish.
Shoulder.
Right, well, we'll see
Shoulder.
this amazing
Let's
match
take this
play
guy
out
back,
again
guys.
here. Josh
Both of you
may
come
have
round.
been surprised there that he
You've gotta
wasn't able to
come
get
down
the
a little bit.
finish.
You're on
He
both
was so
knuckles
close.
here.
He was 1 inch
Come
away
round.
from getting the pin. But Nick's
Wrist-
bicep
wrist
so
here.
strong was able
Wrist
to
here a little
hold
bit,
that off
Nick.
and then bring him back to the center and then roll through
Shoulder.
in a hook
Shoulder.
position.
You both happy there? Yeah. Don't move. Go.
Oh, he's changed to the top roll.
roll.
He's
And
lowered
stop.
his
Here we
arm,
go.
but it's
Winner.
not worked
And
out
we have
for him.
ourselves a winner.
Wow, Nick Vella,
Vella.
what an upset.
Well.
The 7th seed taking out the 2nd seed.
Nick Vella, he is the X Factor, and well, Brett Coots called it early on. He said if Nick Vella gets into this competition, everybody needs to be worried. And I guess we found out exactly why just then.
Standing at 182 centimeters tall, weighed in at 85 kilograms. He's got a 14-inch bicep that's matched by his 14.5-inch forearm. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jacob Tuxworth. Reuben Jennings stands at an impressive 193 centimeters tall, making him the tallest competitor in this 8-man field. Weighed in at 85 kilograms with a 17-inch bicep and a 15-inch forearm. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Reuben Jennings.
Tallest man in the field by far. He has got the longest forearm and a huge hand. He is an incredible high hand top roller, and he's got his work cut out for him here against Jacob Tuxworth, who is always improving. Every time we see Jacob, he's a better version of himself, continues to get better. This will be an interesting battle here
Heads or
because
tails, gentlemen?
I know that Jacob does like to top roll, but if you're to be
Heads.
top rolling, you
Stay
don't want to be
outside.
top rolling
All
against
right.
somebody like Reuben Jennings,
Let's go.
who is
You can take
built
your own
for
grip.
it.
This is two men colliding with styles that are very, very similar, and it's really going to be the physicality that makes a difference here. Jacob, though, has been improving incrementally since their last
Referee's
encounter
grip.
at AWE, at AWE T
Referee's
Series.
grip.
Absolutely, yeah. You can see here that Jacob
shoulder,
needs
keep
to
that shoulder
bring
in.
Reuben's arm
just
down. He's
set you.
so high.
Yeah,
he
yeah,
needs
yeah,
to bring
you
in
wear
more
Reuben's
horizontal
like,
to be able to
come
get
down a
into
little
this
bit here.
match.
I don't
If he
wanna pull your
doesn't do
hand
that,
down,
he's
but
just going to get out
this
height.
needs to come down. Yeah,
Reuben's going to have the height on his hand straight away, and he'll be able to close straight over and roll through. So
I'll just get
Jacob
the webbing.
really needs to make sure
alright.
that his hand is
Close your
brought
thumbs.
down to as horizontal as he can
Keep these
possibly
wrists
get it.
flat, right, guys?
It doesn't look like he's going to go
Yeah,
inside,
hold on,
actually,
hold
to
on.
me.
When you close your hands,
Reuben
just
knows
keep-
secret what he's
keep your
going to be
hands
doing
down
here.
like
He's
that.
going to be
Let's
top
go
rolling.
this way a little bit, guys. Close your hands.
Just about to get the start.
Wait. A little bit of
Referee's
wrist
grip.
here. A little bit of wrist here, Jacob.
Making sure everything
Reuben,
is
just
fair.
Just hold on a sec, guys.
These
Hold on a
guys
sec,
are pretty high.
No. Yeah, I said
Jacob
wrist
does
here,
look like he
but
has
you're
secured a
over
very
his
good
knuckles here
position,
now.
though. He looks like his hand is
Yep.
even higher than Reuben's. It looks like Reuben may be
Don't
going
move.
for a low hand
Don't.
top roll,
Stop.
which he did. He did go for it. Jacob way too strong there, able to catch and then throw straight through for the pin. You can see there, Reuben moving with everything he had and not able to get any purchase on that and getting thrown to the side. So Jacob Tuxworth moves on. So we move down to the B-side bracket now.
Marty Penfold. SK.
This is a great opportunity for Marty Penfold here. He did step up last minute. Fantastic effort.
Heads or
And
tails?
still being a relatively new arm wrestler, he has an inside
Tails.
game. He is very
do you
strong,
want? That side?
but he's
Swap.
going to have to bring out all of his tricks and all of his strength here against the veteran puller in SK, who has the ability to pull
Your
in
grip,
any
gentlemen.
of the techniques, and he is phenomenally skilled.
Marty does have a powerlifting background.
We need to
He
go-
is
yeah, we need to go
the
this way.
shortest competitor in our
Wrist here.
field today, and
That's
he is
better.
looking to
bit of
leverage
carve here, SK.
all of that low down
Wrist.
strength to his advantage against the South Korean.
Right, here we
Guys,
go.
let's
He's going to
turn
go
this out a bit.
inside, but I believe SK looks very
Need to go this
comfortable.
way
He
a
looks
little
like
bit.
he's going to go high with the top roll.
Don't move.
And Marty's going to be going into. He gets the inside position.
does
They're in
get
the hook.
inside.
They're in the middle. Marty's in a really good position here. SK working hard. He's been pulled out of his shoulder. Marty dropping with his body weight. He's going to get it. He's got the
Marty gets
pin.
the pin.
Wow, what a win for Marty
Wow.
Penfold, the number 8 seed.
Making his way through. There's a couple of upsets in these early rounds of the event, and fantastic to see the local boy in front of his home crowd, getting everybody excited here in the room today.
Josh Barker. Reuben Jennings.
All right, so again, Reuben Jennings being the tallest man in the field with that really long forearm.
That's a
He
tails
is going
one.
to be going as high as possible. Josh Barker, you can see that
Heads.
loss, that first round loss has affected him. It's all serious now. He's very in the zone. I think he's going to be taking out his frustration against Reuben Jennings' arm.
Josh Barker is very much all business on this occasion, isn't he?
A little bit off this knuckle
And
here.
it will be press
Just a little
versus
bit.
top
Yeah,
roll.
that's
Two
both
very
right.
different
Josh, just down
techniques.
a little bit here, mate. Yep. Shoulder.
That's right. You can see
We're looking pretty good
Reuben
there, guys. How's that
using
wristband?
his height of his arm there, trying to
Little
get
bit of wrist.
as vertical
Come
as
around a
possible
little
with
bit.
his forearm.
Yep.
Josh
Looking
very
good there.
comfortable.
Keep
He's
that
going to
shoulder,
be pressing.
that
You
shoulder.
can see the tongue has come
Don't
out.
move. Go.
Oh no, he's gone for the top roll. Wow, surprising from Josh Barker. It's going to end
Ooh.
up in a slip. I think it was always going to slip, but he managed to hold
a long
on
way
and
down.
almost get pinned.
All right, hands
Let
open.
go,
guys.
Josh. I think Reuben maybe had hold of his fingers and was dragging him
I
slowly
haven't
to the
tightened
pin.
anything down yet. I'll
That's
just
what makes it hard.
Reuben found a path to victory there.
Absolutely. We've
Almost.
seen Josh go for his top roll twice now, which is a surprise. I mean, he's known for his press. Maybe he felt that in that setup, the top roll was the right move to make. But,
Everybody expected
loosen
Josh
up
to
your
be
hands for a
jumping
sec.
inside
Loosen
with
up your
that
hands for a
press,
sec.
that lightning fast press. It
on,
really
hold-
is his signature
Josh,
move,
I'm
and
the
we're all
referee.
very, very
Relax.
surprised that it hasn't been what he's
All right.
adopted here
Keep your
today.
hands there for a second, guys.
That's right. We'll see if he goes for it again this time. Obviously, you can change and do whatever you like in terms of technique at any time on the table. We know that Josh is phenomenal at his press. I was very surprised to see him not only once go for a top roll, but twice, especially against the top roll specialist like Reuben,
All right, is the
Reuben
strap tight
Jennings. So we'll see if he's going to do that again or if he
Still your grip,
is
guys.
going to go back to
Still your
his
grip.
bread and butter off the press. From his standing position, it does look like
No,
he's
it wasn't.
going to stick with
No,
that
I was
top
just
roll.
checking your knuckles
Normally when he
visible.
does press, he has his shoulder a little bit closer. Although he
Looking
has
pretty good
moved a
there.
little bit
How's the
closer
wrist?
now, and I think he's going
This way,
for
just
the
a little
press
bit.
this time.
Don't move.
There we
Go!
go. There it is.
There we go.
And that's the win.
What he was looking for. That's what all of his opponents were in fear of.
Yes, that's his ace. In this sort of a tournament, you want to be making sure that you throw your best move forwards.
Taran Broad. Zhu Zhi Yu.
It is our #1 seed against Singapore's
You're good,
#1, and it's going to be very interesting to find out. Go to Tim Graham as he steps us through the setup.
Right, so this is the negotiated grip. The athletes get 20 seconds to find whatever grip that they like. If they're
you,
both
guys.
happy with the grip, then we start the match.
Just come.
So we're seeing Taran, he's obviously going to be wanting to go inside.
We'll turn
And
around.
Zhu, as I said before,
shoulder
we're still a bit of an unknown
Turn
factor
around.
as to whether he wants to do
hold
the
on, hold on.
same
We
or
need
if
to-
he's
we
going
need to
to
turn
try
this
to
around.
keep Taran out
Keep that
of
shoulder
his
out.
inside game.
We need to bring it around, guys. We need to bring it around this way.
Just going to get a bit of a rotation, and I think we're not far
come
from a
down a little
start
bit here,
here. Taran's
Right, don't
got
climb
a
up any
very
high.
powerful grip.
Just watch that
It's
shoulder,
an
Taran. The
inside
shoulder
grip.
needs
If
to come
I
out.
was you and I didn't
going
want to go
referee's grip.
inside, I would
Referee's
not
grip,
be
it's not
happy
good.
with the
Referee's
grip,
grip.
but maybe he does want to go inside with Taran. We're going to the referee's
All right,
grip, so
you'll square your shoulders
Tim
up.
Graham, the
Hold
referee,
on, yeah,
will
that's fine,
set
that's
them
fine.
up,
Just don't bring
and
it in.
they will have to
Keep that
fight for
shoulder
their
there.
position once the go
Square the
starts.
shoulder. Bring this one in a
Tim
little
Graham
bit. Yep.
doing a tremendous
Alright.
job as the referee, and the down ref, Big Ben Ettridge. We very much
Close your
appreciate
thumbs.
their efforts. They
Now
do a
wait, keep
tremendous
your hands
job here
open.
with the AWE.
Come this way a little bit, just a little bit. Yeah,
Going to get set up. Athletes will get
When you close
their
this hand,
thumb
just keep
knuckles
this
closed
hand down,
first,
alright?
then their
Alright,
hands.
close
We'll
your
get a
hands.
pause, and then we'll get a start.
Hold on.
So cannot move
You're
in the
rotating
referee's
in.
grip.
He's
making sure
not
everything
rotating.
is
It's you,
fair.
Taran, bring this out. Bring this out. Shoulder.
See the directions he's
This
giving
way a
there.
little
He
bit.
wants to make sure that both wrists
Don't
are straight.
move.
We're about
Go!
to get the start. There it is. Oh, Zhu Zhi Yu going for the top roll. He did look like he busted Taran's wrist back a little tiny bit, and the hands slipped apart. So now the athletes will be strapped together.
Yeah, very interesting there. It is hard for some of these athletes in this field to get a gauge on their opponents, especially when they've come from overseas and haven't had the
Just hands
opportunity
up and open
to
for me,
rip
please.
up with them
Let me get this
either
strap
in a
sorted and I'll
competitive
sort your
format
hands out in a minute.
or casually on the table.
That's right. Yeah, it's one of those things when I guess
Yep.
if you're going into a
let me
tournament,
just get
usually
this strap
you don't know a lot about your
wound up.
opponent unless it's like a local tournament with your club or something like that. So there is that element
that's right.
which is going to be in play every time you're competing.
sorted.
But with this tournament, we've known about this tournament for a couple of months now. Taran Broad researching as best he can and game planning as best he can against
Yeah,
Zhu
it
Zhi
will.
Yu.
Absolutely, it will.
So we'll see how that
All right. Just
all that
hold on.
research and
Just keep your
training
hands
and
there.
preparation
Keep your hands
plays
there.
off here. In
Don't
that
move
first
them.
round, it did look like he went to go
Hold
inside, but Zhu was top rolling. Looked like Taran's wrist went back a little bit,
Yeah, I will.
but it did end up in a slip, so not a
it
lot
is.
to gain of knowledge there, but we'll see how it plays
that
out.
tight
I
enough?
don't think that Zhu will want to go inside with
tight enough?
Taran. I
What were
think
you
that he
saying?
will try his best to stay outside.
Zhu has the buckle.
Oh, I can go a
To
little
what
bit.
extent is
Yeah,
that
a
a
little bit.
disadvantage, Hollywood?
Now, I'm going to set your shoulders
It
up,
depends
guys.
on the puller. Some people very much don't like it. It does affect the ability to close your hand with the fingers. But
All right, this shoulder needs to come out a
it's
little
a
bit.
minor consideration for most, but some
Bring the
people have
shoulder
a
in.
very big affinity
little bit
with
more.
I don't
Yep.
want the buckle.
All right. Yeah, Taran, you're coming across like this with your hand.
They can play into the mind of
He's not
of the
rotating
competitor.
nearly as much as you
Absolutely.
are here.
Especially when it is
All right,
first
close your
to pin.
thumbs.
That's right. We're about to
Taran,
get
you've
the
got to
start
come
here.
off his
So
knuckle
Taran
when you close your
is
hand.
in the strap, which means
Close
the
your
hands
thumbs.
cannot slip
Close.
anymore.
So
Getting
you've got
the
to come
thumb
down
knuckles
a little bit.
closed. Tim Graham, the referee, making
Cool,
sure
both
that
of you close
everything
your
is
thumbs.
fair. It's very
Taran, keep that
important in
thumb
arm
down.
wrestling. The start
Close your
is
hands.
critical.
Wait,
So
you've got to come round.
both guys
Taran,
having their
Taran.
hands closed
Keep
now.
that
We
shoulder
need
out.
to get their
You gotta come
hands
round.
and wrists straight
Stop,
before we
stop.
can get a start.
One foul.
Got a foul for Taran Broad, not
You're
listening
literally
to
like
the
this.
referee,
Like-
Tim Graham.
No,
This
no,
is-
no.
this
His
is big.
hand is
This
flat.
not good
Your
for
your
Taran.
hand is
There's
like
only
this.
2 fouls.
Your hand's like this.
So
All right,
he
look,
really
look.
needs
It's
to
like that.
calm down
No, no,
and
no. It's a foul. I've
allow
given you
Tim to
plenty
get
of
him
warnings.
set up in a fair position.
All right.
He
Keep your
doesn't
shoulder there.
have Any
Zhu,
more fouls
shoulder
if
in
he
a little
doesn't
bit here.
listen
Yep.
to Tim's
All right. Close your
instructions
thumbs.
here.
Down a little bit here, Taran.
He may get
Close your
found
hands.
out. So about to get the
Take
start.
this carve out. That's better. Don't move. Go!
There it is. Oh, able to keep him outside of going in. Taran on his bicep. It doesn't have
Taran's
a
lost
cup in
his
his
hand.
wrist.
It's inches away from the
Oh,
keypad.
that was a
And
mistake. Oh.
Watch
Zhu
your
Zhi
elbows,
Yu
Zhu.
hitting
Don't bring it
hard.
up.
Both
Zhu Zhi
wrists
Yu-
are about even. Taran managing to bring it back to the center.
Zhu seems to be resting in the middle there.
Keep that elbow on,
He's
Zhu.
Seemingly
looking to move into a press for a second, but he's given up on that. Taran just holding at this point. He hasn't got enough cup to be able to roll through. He needs to get more cup in his wrist. You can see him dragging slowly and slowly. He's going to hit hard, and Zhu's going to
he's
hold, but he
made his
didn't
way
get it.
through.
Taran Broad getting
What
through.
a battle. Well, I guess we've answered that question. What is the level in Singapore? And it is extremely high. Zhu coming within inches of the pad very early on in that round. That is the first real war of this tournament.
Nick Vella. Jacob Tuxworth.
Right, so Nick Vella winning his way through against Josh
Heads or tails?
Barker. He is going to be taking on Jacob Tuxworth here.
Heads.
This will be an
Top
interesting
sides.
battle. Nick, you could see he was celebrating that victory over Josh in the
gentlemen, your
corner.
grip.
His coach or his training partner, Brett Coots, very excited. I think that was almost as good as winning the entire tournament.
Yeah, I can't see any knuckles there. Do
So
we want
we'll
to
see
see
how
knuckles?
this plays out. Nick looks like he's
Are you
got an
both happy there?
incredibly strong inside
Nick, are you
game
happy
and a
there?
very strong bicep, able to catch
Shoulder?
Josh Barker's
Are you guys
press
happy with
an
the
inch
hands how
away
they
from the
are?
pad and then bring it back.
Take this out a bit.
Well, Brett Coots had announced on the Arm
Take
Wrestling
this
Tonight
out.
podcast just a matter of a
Nick,
couple
we
of
just
weeks
gotta
ago
take his
that
wrist
if
out.
Nick
You-
Vella
you-
got an
you like this,
opportunity
mate?
to be in this
Wrist?
tournament, then
Wrist?
everybody should
Wrist?
watch out because,
Shoulder.
well, it
Shoulder?
seems that
Wrist?
in training he has
Little
come
bit
very
here.
close
Little bit here.
to pinning.
Both happy
Brett
there?
Coots.
Don't move.
Go!
Go!
We got the start, but unfortunately
Oh!
not able to get it through there. Jacob Tuxworth's top roll, able to cut off the supination of Nick Vella and able to roll through for the win.
Really drawing on all of his technical knowledge there. Jacob Tuxworth is a very experienced campaigner. He's been competing now for many years, and you could see that shine through in that moment.
Josh Barker. Zhu Zhi Yu.
Lost to Nick Vella in the A side bracket. He will be looking for redemption here against Zhu.
Heads or tails? Heads. Tails.
Same.
Stay there. All right.
Door strap.
Josh, yep. Just keep that. And Josh, just a little bit here off this knuckle here. Yep.
This will be an interesting match against Josh
Shoulder.
Barker.
We need to go Josh's
for
way
that
just
top
a
roll
little
again,
bit.
or will he
This
go
way. Yep, yep, yep.
inside and use his
This way a little
amazing
bit.
press?
How's the wrist there, Ben?
Looks like he's going outside again. Shoulders coming
move.
forwards.
Go!
Looks like there it is. He's going for that
Strap.
top roll again. That's really surprised. Maybe he's got a read on somebody with it, but
That's
it
it,
doesn't
hands
seem
open.
to be as strong as his machine-like press. Thoughts on that, though, Dave Stockbridge?
Well, I think that when you look at the styles of both of these athletes, you would expect that Josh will be jumping inside very, very quickly, especially after that war that Zhu has just had with Taran Broad, who are both notoriously inside pullers. You would
time in a
imagine
second, just give me
that
a minute.
Zhu would be somewhat exhausted in all of those
little bit.
areas that you
Stay there.
require to be powerful in a hook. And really, I
Tight
mean,
enough?
we're seeing Josh Barker mix it up.
That's
a
their
lot
grip.
more than what I would have expected. I would have thought the easiest pathway to victory, and what all of his
Josh, you'll just need to
opponents
come down a
here
little.
today
Yep,
were
yep.
fearing would that
Don't-
they would
no, a
be
little
on
bit
the
more.
wrong
Yep,
end
yep, don't climb up
of
over
the
that.
Josh Barker flash
Right,
pin.
shoulder.
Exactly right,
bit
exactly.
shoulder
And
here.
it doesn't look like he's setting up
Go
for that
this
press
way
this
just
time.
a little bit.
Maybe he just
Wrist.
wanted to get to the strap. Maybe he
Wrist.
feels he needs the
Wrist.
strap to have better
Wrist.
purchase on the opponent's
Don't
wrist.
move.
Oh,
Hold
false
on,
start there
there's a
from
pause
Josh
there.
Barker.
No,
He's
no,
going to get a
no.
warning from the referee
One
there.
warning.
But you can see he's diving in for that press. He is definitely going to be
take your grip.
pressing.
Did he
Alright.
show all of his
Down a
cards?
little bit, Josh. Yep.
Is he going to
Shoulder.
stick with it?
Or is it? Now he's setting up for a top roll.
he's
So
setting up,
maybe
he's
this is
got
all
back
part of
pressure.
the strategy.
This way a
He's
little bit.
loading with
Wrist is
back
good.
pressure now.
Don't move.
Go! We got the
Yes.
start. He did go for it. He's
Oh.
got purchase, and there it is. He gets it with the top roll. Josh Barker top roll.
Showing how versatile an athlete he has truly become over recent times. He really did have everybody convinced that he was coming in just a flash pin with that lightning fast press of his. And yet today we've seen him be a lot more versatile, pulling outside a lot more than anybody would have expected. Josh Barker is really proving himself to be a very well-rounded arm wrestler.
Nick Vella. Marty Penfold.
Oh, we've got the battle of two inside pullers here. It'll be interesting to see if they negotiate, start a hook
or tails,
grip,
gentlemen?
because they'll both end up there regardless, I
Tails.
think. And
Stay there.
Marty Penfold coming off the biggest win of his arm wrestling
Strap.
career
Alright,
over
strap
SK
straight up.
in
Hands open,
the
guys.
previous
Thumbs open.
round. You see he was very elevated, very excited about getting that victory. And this is the fun thing about these tournaments, these Grand Prix events that we put on, is that there is always somebody that comes through and just as a dark horse, they have several upset matches and upset wins. Marty Penfold beating SK, you'd almost say that that was a very highly unlikely situation to happen. But Marty Penfold stepping up to the plate, proving everybody wrong and winning his way through in the B-side bracket. He will be taking on Nick Vella, who also had an incredible upset victory over Josh Barker in the first round.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed, Hollywood Matt Connolly. AWE is always full of surprises, and two of those surprises are right now on the table. We have the X Factor in Nick Vella, Marty Penfold, who is a hometown hero, and the room will go absolutely nuts if Marty Penfold can overcome Nick Vella in this round.
Absolutely, both going inside. I think the
guys,
beauty of
obviously we need
having
to
the
come out unless you
negotiated
both-
grip is that
unless
they
you
can
both wanna
agree to
start
start in a hook start. And it looks like that's what
You
they're
both
going to be
happy?
doing here.
Sure.
Marty bringing his shoulder in very
Don't
close.
move.
Here we
Go.
go. We get the start, and it's
Ooh,
Nick Vella
Nick Vella
is the
too
X
strong.
Factor. Too strong in the hook there. You can see that they did start and agree to start in a hook position. Marty holding with his bicep right at the end there, but it wasn't strong enough to move him through.
Taran Broad. Jacob Tuxworth.
Oh, this will be a good battle here. Jacob Tuxworth, as we can see, continuously improving throughout his arm wrestling career, getting better and better every single time we see him. He has looked phenomenal
tails.
today, and he was able to handily take
Heads.
care of
You get to
Nick
choose. Wanna stay
Vella
there?
in the previous round. Who is an
Take your grip,
inside
gentlemen.
puller. We'll see if he's able to do the same thing to Taran Broad. Taran is also an inside puller, probably of a different
looking
strength
pretty
level
good there,
though.
guys.
But
A bit of
we
shoulder
did
here.
see Zhu putting a lot of pressure on
You guys
Taran's
both happy
hand
there?
in that previous round. Maybe that
happy,
gassed
Taran?
him out a little bit.
I don't think
Go.
Taran ever expected to be
Strap.
tested that hard so early in the tournament. What's his endurance
just
like?
open
We're
hands.
about to find out.
That's right, and then right
Just
there
get
we
this
saw a
sorted.
slip. Jacob going for that top roll. He looked like he did have a hand dominant position.
Yeah, let me just-
Taran getting the slip there, so Taran's going to have to really cup hard. I think that's the area that he is getting beaten in. Is they're pulling into his fingers and keeping his wrist flat, as opposed to trying to get their own cup. They're just preventing him from getting his cup.
Let me
so
just- yeah,
and
hold
a
on,
cup
hold on, let me
being
just-
the flexing of your wrist. So Taran really
open your hands.
relies on being able to flex his wrist to be able to roll through with his technique. What Zhu did in the previous round was he kept Taran's
Strap tight
wrist
enough?
flat, which made it very, very difficult for Taran. And we saw a war.
that's it. You can take your grip.
Jacob will probably be implementing the exact same strategy.
Yeah,
Jacob is much
just a little
improved
bit
in
off here.
all areas. He's one of these
Little bit more.
guys
Little
who's
bit more.
just
You
getting
just-
better
you're coming-
with every
you're
day
coming
that goes
across.
by, making it very difficult for the others to judge
Hold on, hold on,
exactly
hold on, hold
what
on,
his
hold on. I'll
level
sort the thumb
is.
first. Taran, close your thumb. Right, don't go any higher
See
than that,
Taran
Jacob.
wanting to be as
Yep.
close to his hand as possible.
Taran, you're
Jacob
carving
putting that
across.
height
This needs to
there.
come out. Yep.
This is
Jacob is
negotiated
loading.
Shoulder.
We're in the
Don't
strap,
move.
about to get the
Go.
start. There it is. He's got hand position.
Here
He's
we
going to roll
go.
through. Taran's going to have to hold with his bicep. He's 1 inch away from being pinned here.
Stop.
So
he's got
close,
the
there we
pin.
go. There's the
Wow.
upset. Jacob Tuxworth walking away with the victory. And, well, not many people expected that to be happening. Jacob Tuxworth really proving how much he has improved just in recent months and walking away with that round victory. Of course, Taran Broad, having gone through that war, how much damage was done. I guess we got some of the answer to that with Jacob Tuxworth really with a dominant display.
Yeah, absolutely. What an incredible win for Jacob Tuxworth there.
Nick Vella. Josh Barker.
All right, so Josh Barker going
Tails it is.
against Nick
On a swap.
Vella. This is
Yep.
the rematch. This is the from the opening round. Josh getting upset by
Strap.
Nick Vella in the opening
say
round.
strap?
He did go
Nick,
for his
strap,
press.
yeah. Yep.
He was 1 inch away from getting the victory. Nick Vella's bicep was able to turn on at that
I'll get your
point,
webbing
and he
sorted in a
held
second. Let me
Josh
just get
off
this set up.
long enough to be able to drag him back to the middle. They had a bit of a war in the center of the table before Nick was able to get his cup position and roll through for the pin. So we'll see if that will play out the same way or whether Josh is going to stick with this top roll technique that he has implemented in the last couple of matches that he's had here.
Yeah, well, did Josh learn from their earlier encounter? I guess we're going to see that. We've seen Josh employ a number of different techniques, surprising his opponents today by going outside when he's known to go inside.
Your grip.
What will he do
Josh,
on this
just come down
occasion?
off
What
his knuckle
adjustments
there.
will he make? He
Little
would have
bit more,
been as surprised as anyone at the result
Yep,
of their
yep.
earlier
Just-
encounter
we take that out.
in the tournament.
Shoulder.
Nick would have learnt his
Shoulder.
own lessons, and
Little bit of wrist here.
you would feel that Nick will
How's
be
this
going
wrist?
with pretty much what was successful last time.
Little bit here,
he'll be
Josh,
seeking
little
to
bit
keep
here,
it in a hook.
And Nick, you got to
Yeah,
take a little
Josh
bit
is
of carve
just
out,
going
mate.
to top
Yep.
roll. They've started in the strap
Don't
here.
move. Go!
There he is. He's going for that
Watch
top roll.
his
He has
elbow.
got hand position. And there
Oh,
he goes. He
there
made
we
the
go.
adjustment that he needed to. He did learn from the opening round, and he's rolled through, eliminating Nick Vella from the tournament. He moves on.
Taran Broad. Josh Barker.
Oh, we thought this might happen here. The number one versus the number 2 seed, but we thought it might have happened in the
Tails.
grand final. It's actually happening
Stay
in
there.
the B-side final. But
That's what we love about AWE Grand Prix. There's
Strap.
always a surprise, and this outcome is just one of those. We did expect to see them both in the finals, both men expecting to see each other in the finals, and so now having to run through all of those strategies just a round earlier. Neither
just
wants
watch
to
this
go
calf,
through to the
Darren.
final, completely spent. Of
This
course,
way just a
Taran
little
has
bit, guys.
had
Yep.
wars
Yeah.
already. Josh,
your grip.
just the one.
absolutely.
Go down.
So we're getting the negotiated grip
Take a
here.
little bit out
No
here.
secrets as to
Just
what
come round a
Taran's
little
going to
bit,
be
guys.
doing, but Josh does look like he's
This
in
way a
that
little
top
bit,
roll
this way a little
position
bit.
again. They've
Don't
had
move.
matches
Go.
before with AWE. We've got a slip here. Did look like that Josh was going for that top roll. Taran slipping underneath his hand there. No secrets to what Taran Broad is going to do. He's always an inside puller. But Josh Barker switching back and forth between pressing and top rolling. And in this tournament, he is favouring the top roll.
Yeah, which is a turn up. Nobody really would have expected that coming into this event. But again,
Absolutely.
Josh Barker proving himself to be an
level your
extremely
hands in a second.
versatile arm wrestler.
That's right. Maybe he doesn't want to go for the press here
yeah,
because
I know.
that
Yeah,
does
yeah.
push straight
keep your
into
hands down.
Taran's strength of the
Don't close or
inside
anything.
game. He has had success being able to pin Taran in a super match previously at AWE 1. Where he did top
Your
roll.
grip.
It
Just
was a
square up your
long
shoulders.
battle, but he managed to keep Taran from being able to cup his
You
wrist,
did.
as we were talking before, that the
that's
Taran really relies on being able to flex his wrist to be able to implement his hook position. So we'll see if
watch
Josh
this-
is going
this knuckle
to
there.
stick
Yep.
with the
All right,
top
we just need
roll
to take
or
this
if
out,
he's
guys.
going to change to the
Taran,
press.
that includes
Right
you.
here, the way
Take it
he's
out, take it
standing is almost in between both techniques.
both
This is
happy
going to be
there?
confusing for Taran.
Don't move. Go!
Got the start. He has gone for the top roll. He's pulled through. Taran on his bicep. He's trying to hold on.
He can
He's
only
1
stay
inch
there for
away.
so long.
He needs to
He's
cup his
bleeding on that bicep now. And of course, all Josh has to do is play the waiting game for as long as he's in that position and has Taran's hand.
Oh, he needs to hold hard. He's
Oh,
gonna
he's
have to change.
repositioning now. Taran has a chance. Taran needs to bring this back to center.
He needs to get his wrist cupped, but Josh is 1 inch away. He was 1 inch away from the pin.
And he's got the strap at the buckle
That's
on,
right.
on the
Josh-
back of his hand right now, which is not helping his cause. And here he comes, powers through with side pressure.
Wow, what a match. This
Wow,
is an absolute war.
What a back and forth here. Taran came through.
Oh, Taran Broad has pulled it off. What a win. What a hold on that initial top roll from Josh Barker. He was 1 inch away from getting pinned, and he held it off with no cup in his wrist. You know how difficult that is to do. That's incredible.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together one more time. What an absolute war. Jacob Tuxworth stands at 182 centimetres tall, weighed in officially at 85 kilograms, has a 14.5-inch bicep and a 14.5-inch forearm. Ladies and gentlemen, Jacob Tuxworth! Taran Broad hails from Adelaide, South Australia. He stands at 173 centimetres tall, weighed in at 85 kilograms, with a 19-inch bicep and a 16-inch forearm. Please welcome Taran Broad. Taran Broad needs to win 2 pins to be your AWE Middleweight Champion here today. Jacob Tuxworth, 1 pin will do the trick, and he will walk away with the belts.
Here we are at the AWE 3 Grand Prix middleweight final. It is Tyrannosaurus Broad, the #1 seed, who got knocked into the B-side bracket. He is taking on the silent assassin of Jacob Tuxworth, who has looked better and better every single time we've seen him. He's gone undefeated through this tournament. Taran will have to get 2 victories to be able to get the belt, and Jacob only needs 1. This is the style of the double elimination tournament.
It is standing room only here. The atmosphere is electric. Everybody has been waiting for this. This is for the AWE middleweight title. The very first to be issued at the AWE. Jacob Tuxworth, Taran Broad, who will walk away with the title.
They have agreed to start in straps. We always like to see that. Doesn't waste time with if they're going to slip. But this will be interesting because Jacob has been rolling through everyone with a very powerful top roll. Top roll, obviously, the natural counter to the hook there, which is what Taran Broad is going to be trying to implement. Taran having some difficulty being able to cup his wrist throughout the day. He had to fight very, very hard against Josh Barker. We're about to get the start here. There it is. He's got the top roll. He's almost hit the pin. Not quite, says the referee. Jacob's in a dominating position. And there it is. He's got the win. Here's the winner. Here's the AWE Grand Prix 3 middleweight champion.
Ladies and gentlemen, he is your new AWE middleweight champion,